think one thing with Priory is to mention is one of our classic things that we have there is that Trugila, as the Irish say actually, is our day will come. I think that's very important for anything that you believe in life, really, universe and everything, is that your day will come. But only if you allow it to. There's certain things I brought here from Priory that you probably can't see on here, but I'll just go over them briefly. We have, on average, 6 festivals a year. We've got them on dates, but the dates don't really mean anything. Provided that we have the 6 recognitions, the 6 points in any period, perfectly fine. So there's no set days that are specific to Priory. There's in Knights Templar there's much more a structure to the dates and the reasons why, but the reality will always bring you back to the truth, and the truth is that it doesn't matter what day it is, because time is timeless. And on the path of Priory, you always truly start to see that. And depending on how far you go, how long you travel, then you'll realise what I mean by that particular statement. Dare I coin a phrase of Douglas Adams, time is an illusion. Yes, it is. Time is created for this planet, again for a control, because society says you have to have certain points of a day to do things. But you don't really. The human species is waking up. It's saying, well, actually, hang on. If you need a siesta, if you need a sleep in the afternoon, even on the news today, they're now saying that it's good to have that 30-minute power nap. But take it back 30, 40 years ago, oh, that would just knock your body clock out. But now, we as a human race are starting to see that we need to do things in the right way. We need to listen to our bodies. We need to act when our bodies want us to act. And we need to rest when our bodies need us to rest, irrespective of time. But we do have these 6 points, the 6 points of perfection that would be honoured, respected, recognised during any period of time. So that's what we do there. There's a bit about the bloodlines and the royal lines. A lot of them over the last few thousand years very much take you back to Ireland, which makes total sense because Ireland is immense in history, especially County Meath and the bloodlines there. If ever you come onto Priory, you'll certainly learn about the historical aspects of migrational patterns of the species, which is quite good. We've got the aspects of the maps of Ireland and the main aspects of the old kingdoms, as it were, and how they work back to the modern day country. And then we've got a bit in here that I put on about Hugh de Payne and the fact that I've been able to track my lineage back to the first Knight Templar Grand Master ever in modern history, and how Hugh de Payne comes into the line, as it were. And interesting enough, the Hugh de Payne comes in from my mother's side, not my father's side. My mother's side comes in from the lineage directly to the original first Grand Master of Knights Templar. My father's lineage goes back to the kingdoms and House of David, the kingdoms of Israel, but it tracks through all the kings of Ireland first. So that's interesting. So you've got the 2 mixtures there. I talk about Ireland a lot because it means a lot in this part of the area that we all inhabit, that we know as Earth. But I think sometimes you need to take your mind away from that and say, well, is it really what it seems? And this is what Priory allows you to open up. We know that round England itself, we can see that's the United Kingdom today, as I've marked there. It's a very small area. Now, once Britain was Great Britain. It had lots of land mass across the globe that it had conquered. But I don't think that's really anything to be proud about, because at the end of the day, conquer means to slaughter, means to enslave people, means to take over their land. And if we look at the Indian tribal aspects, no man shall own the land, which is quite true, isn't it? Because it's only rented to you if you truly buy your house, as in you don't owe a bank a penny at the end of it. Then at that point you own your house. But you only own it for that period of your survival time. You were created, as I said before. You survived your environment, and then you cease to exist in the physical form at that point in time. Only at that point in time. So during that time you may have a property that you own, but you're not taking it with you. The lands change, as we've clearly seen here in history ourselves. If we bring it back to England, the lands have changed. Ireland, England, the Netherlands, they were all one landmass at one point. We could talk about Pangaea, but let's not go down that road of Pangaea today because we'd need a few hours. But the message is, look what's around you, open your eyes, see what's really there, and take it from there. When we talk about the earth as a whole, there's many schools of thought that will say, well, actually, we're only living on probably an eighth, 1/8, would be the best way of describing it, 1/8 of this actual earth surface. But you're told you've got access to the entire planet. But how do you know that to be true? Have you ever been beyond that? Have you ever been to the edge? Is there an edge? A wonderful guy, Byrd, Admiral Byrd, Captain Byrd, he did an exercise to the Antarctic. And what happened with him, there's lots of information online about him, is that he did an expedition on a military basis. He was a military commander of a ship, Admiral, Captain. And he travelled over to the main areas of major ice in Antarctic. And he was gone for quite some time. But when he came back to what we know as the Earth, as the landmass that we are residing within, and it very much is within, he said some things on television that were quite controversial, highly sensitive, and was considered to be against national security. And the things that Byrd said was so shocking to some people if they really could understand what he was trying to say. He didn't say things exactly outright, like chalk and cheese, black and white. He said them in a way that you thought, oh, that's interesting. Ironically, the main television show that he did, 2 weeks after that television show, back then those years ago, he mysteriously died. So, yes, you could argue that, was he murdered, was he killed, was it natural causes? It doesn't change the fact that this man had spent a lot of time, was obviously credited by the powers that be in this land to send him on an expedition, that he had the necessary skills, competence and ability to obtain the results and information, the intelligence, the intel that they required. What wasn't expected is that he'd go on to national television and it would be broadcast internationally to reveal certain parts of what he saw. And I think that's really important to focus upon. Priory focuses very much on those aspects of Byrd's words as well. It focuses very much on trying to show you different points of view and how things are never what they seem. And again, one thing to take away from all of this is, don't listen to me, don't believe me. Listen to yourself and believe yourself and find it out for yourself. And if you think, oh, there's some interesting points there, then research it more. If you want to get in touch, we'll be delighted. We're always keen to hear from people from all walks of life. So,
thank you, Alex. Some amazing points of information there. And if anybody wants to pursue this information shared further, either, as Alex said, do lots and lots of research, or get in touch with us, come to us and see what we're really about.
great, so that's it.
So I'd just like to say many thanks for watching. Thanks to Alec for his revealing thoughts, and also a big thanks to Simon for filming. And please keep in touch and keep watching.
So that's a good night from her.
And a good night from him.